All right, and everybody ready?
I
Yeet.
was born ready.
I was born ready. I'm Ron Swanson. Reminder Cat reminds you about the game. Hey, how's it Hey, how's it going, everybody? My name is Spam Cam, and welcome to It's Getting Late. We have a very special guest here tonight, but before we get into that, we also have a co-host. The ASMRnerd is returning to the show. How you doing,
What's up,
Nick?
guys? Hey, good to be back.
And our great friend Drakonis, ASMRtist, is in the house. We're going to interview him tonight. How you doing, man?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm doing great, despite having lost the game. That being said, we got a wide variety of topics to cover tonight. But first, I want to start on the name Drakonis, because I know it roots from your name Drake. But how did Drake turn into Drakonis?
So it's actually a nickname that my cousin gave me. He just one random time just started calling me Draconis, and it just kind of stuck. So I just started using it for everything.
Yeah. So you are formerly known as Mighty Draconis before you start putting more focus on ASMR. How did Mighty come to play? Is it just sounded cool, or is there a story behind it?
Honestly, I think it just kind of sounded cool. And so I started my non-ASMR YouTube with it. And then my friend, he like messages me one day and he just goes, dude, what the hell? And I go, what, man? He goes, I was going to start a YouTube channel and I was going to call it The Mighty Something. You stole my idea.
I mean, that friend could have done it either way. They're not going to go by Draconis.
I know. I just go, I'm sorry, you weren't quick enough. So
exactly. It
makes me think of like the Mighty Mighty Boss Tones or something.
Yeah, exactly.
or the Mighty Ducks.
Or the Mighty Ducks. Absolutely.
I mean, he was totally just messing with me, but it was funny.
Yeah. So on the topic of ASMR, since that is kind of the center topic of the show, hello. How did you first get
what this is about?
Yeah.
Oh, dang.
What the heck? All
How
right.
did I end up here?
How did you first get into ASMR? How did you discover it?
I think so. There was a point in my life where I really got into like meditation and stuff like that, and just like mindfulness practice and all of that. And I think I was just looking up like relaxing videos on YouTube. And oh man, who was the first one that I saw? I feel like it was either GB or Heather Feather. I think those were the first two that I discovered. And then I started looking, I was watching a lot of like Let's Plays at the time, because I had just started my Let's Play non-ASMR channel. So I was wondering, like, is there also ASMR Let's Plays? And so I looked that up too, and that kind of led me down the rabbit hole of, finding Nick. And then like, yeah, I just kind of found it and realized it was very relaxing to me. And I had experienced that sensation, the sensation of ASMR, since I was young, and it was always just like, ooh, that feels nice. And then I found these videos that triggered it, and I'm just like, this is amazing. How did I not hear about this like way sooner?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
Were
how I
you-
got into it.
I can relate because I discovered ASMR much later than most people in the community that I've met. I discovered it about 5 years ago. Nick was already incredibly established at that point. I for one, discovered him through the same YouTuber that I discovered ASMR in general, through Review Tech USA. How did you find Nick?
I think it was just a YouTube search, actually.
Was it a Minecraft video, maybe?
It was definitely a Minecraft video.
I thought it probably was.
Yeah.
I remember you. I don't know how long after it was that you found my stuff, but I remember you messaging me like years ago.
Yeah.
like, for the
It
first
was
time,
like
and I
7
remember,
or 8 years ago, I
I
think.
don't know, it was a long time ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, and chatting. We talked. I don't know. We talked Minecraft. We talked about your video card. I seem to remember we were talking about your video card at one point.
Yeah. And then you started streaming on Twitch.
Yeah.
And that was when we really started to get to know each other.
That was about 4.5 years ago now, I guess.
But that long already? What the heck?
I know. What is time anymore,
It's
right?
crazy.
Yeah.
And we
Time is
still haven't
illusion
met, man.
anyway.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah,
We all
none,
need
none
to
of us
meet.
have met yet.
Yeah.
You
What's
know-
up with that? We all live on the west coast of North America. We've like known each other for like at least a few years now. Like what gives?
Yeah, well,
I know.
you guys have less an excuse than I do because y'all are.
It's true. We're like
I know,
Y'all-
it's even
across the
worse.
water. Kind of well.
Yeah,
I know,
and I'm all the
but,
way
you know,
down
whatever.
in California, so
Yeah.
I have some excuse.
We need to make that happen like this year, something.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Yeah, and I imagine more than likely the first time we meet, it will be up in the Pacific Northwest. But when y'all come down to the Bay, we got to go to the Exploratorium. I think I told you all about that. It's a science museum in San Francisco. It's a hands-on science museum that is borderline an ASMR playground, as I like to call it. It is so phenomenal. I've been a big fan of it since I was little. It used to be at the Palace of Fine Arts, but about 10-15 or so years ago they moved it over to Fisherman's Wharf. Just down the Embarcadero. You can walk to Oracle Park where the Giants play in about an hour from there, which is fantastic.
I've been
That's
to
cool.
San Francisco once, and that was probably 20 years ago now. Maybe.
Yeah, I remember you telling me because I've been up to Victoria around that same time, and you're like, you
Yeah,
didn't
that's right.
tell
We
me,
probably
and then I
passed each other.
later found out that you came to my neck of the woods without telling me either. Come on, man.
Like you guys
Literally
are
in
just
airplanes
passing each other. in
other.
That's
planes.
probably what happened. I went up there on a train. I took a train to Seattle for a
Okay.
couple days, and
Yeah,
then
we flew down.
and then I took a ferry to Victoria for a couple nights, and then took a ferry back to Seattle, and then took a train back. And this was like right before I started my 7th grade year, and like a night or so before the school year started, the train I was on was behind another train that half derailed. So we had a 10-hour delay in Oak Ridge, Oregon. It was
Oh no.
brutal.
What do you do when you're trapped on it? Well, I guess I don't know. How long is the train ride in general, and do you stop often? Like,
It was
I've never been on a train. Like,
it was an
anyway.
overnight. Yeah, it was an overnight trip from Emeryville, California, all the way up to Seattle. I think we slept one night each way. I remember waking up in Portland and then falling back asleep a couple minutes later. So I have 2 minutes of Portland experience.
Very brief experience.
Yeah.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
Like stopping
There are
over at
some
an
parts of
airport.
Portland where you're like, yeah, let's better keep it that way.
Well,
Some
they
parts of
say
Portland,
keep Portland
yeah.
weird, and I would have probably made it weirder. So,
Oh yeah. no,
so
Portland's
I
pretty weird.
definitely missed the opportunity there.
Yeah, I love Portland though.
It
Portland's
sounds
great.
amazing. Let's talk wine, because I know you're
Wine.
yeah, I know you're a big wine
I
guy.
have that question on my list here. A wine question.
Yeah, let's ask him some wine questions. So
Right on.
yeah, so what got you into wine?
Drinking it.
Well, let
That's
me
legit.
let me elaborate. What got you into studying it?
So I tried this wine. It's a varietal called Carmenere, and I tried it, and it was like, I swirled this glass and I smelled it, and it was literally smelled like someone was cutting fresh green bell peppers right in front of my face.
Hmm.
And then I tasted it, and it tasted the exact same way. And I was just like, okay, I need to know how they do that. And like
That's
at the
awesome.
time, I didn't even know that like they didn't add anything to the grapes when they made the wine. And so I was just like, okay, how do they make grapes smell like green bell pepper? Like, how do they do that? So I decided to sign up and get into school and pursue that for a bit.
Nice. Do you remember what wine it was called?
It was just called by the varietal, so Carmenere.
Okay.
Keith wants to try it, is what he's saying.
Yes, I want to try it.
He wants
I
to
mean,
know.
if you can get it down there, I can send you the exact. I can send you the exact wine.
Please do.
It's yeah, I'll do that on Discord. It's a little doxing, so
Are you
Fair.
guys allowed to like send alcohol across state lines without any issue?
I don't
or-
think you are without
depends
approval.
on the state.
Gets weird up here in Canada, moving alcohol between provinces or across the border to the
Yeah.
states. Like,
We have to
That
have like
sucks.
different licenses and like licensing with each state. So like where I work, we can only ship to certain states. Other states are you can't.
this is
Other
a good
states-
question then for you, Drake. Maybe you know, is this states trying to protect their local wine and brewing industries and that kind of stuff? Or
No, it's this is toes the line of political, but
Yeah, sorry. There's
well,
really no
it's
politics.
it's the without getting too into it, we are behind on our alcohol laws. I'll just put
fair.
it that way.
Okay.
Fair.
Yeah, fair.
In California, all I know is that you can't drive with an open bottle in your car. All alcohol that you have in your car must be sealed. If you
Yeah, it's the
open it,
same up
it
here
has
in
to.
BC.
Yeah, it only
Yeah.
makes sense. Whereas in Vegas, at least at the Strip, you're allowed to walk around with an open bottle of beer and drink it as you walk down the
Yeah.
road, which
So a
is
lot of places in Europe like that where you can just wander around with open alcohol and it's fine. I
Yeah.
think now maybe if there's any Germans watching, they can correct me, but I think I read the other day that you're even allowed to drive with open alcohol in your vehicle. in
Really?
Germany, as long as you don't blow over 0.5 or whatever, like you're fine. I don't know. There's some rule about yeah.
They have the Autobahn with that.
They do. Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Yeah, if that existed in Chico, California, I have to call y'all out because that's where I went to college. It would be chaos. My first semester there, it flooded near campus, and I swear to God, I saw some people water skiing in the streets. Have a truck pull them on the streets on water. Couldn't make
That
this
just
up.
sounds like a
if I
good
tried.
time.
Hilarious.
It does sound like a
I don't know
good
how to
time,
party.
but it's still mind blowing.
That's so great.
So
I mean, if
Drake,
I had
then-
water skis, I think I'd probably do the same thing. Let's be real. Like,
Yeah.
on
I-
the topic of wine, since that's where we were coming at this from, if you had to like, okay, you have the one variety that got you into wine, but since then, I imagine your palate has diversified and you've discovered all these varietals and flavors and all this kind of stuff. So right now, what's your jam? What's your favorite wine that you're drinking these days?
Wine that I'm currently I haven't been drinking much wine lately.
Oh no.
I
I mean,
honestly, my favorite varietal would probably still be Carmenere. Like that hasn't really changed.
there you go, right back to where it all started.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm definitely a cab person.
Oh yeah.
There's this one cheap Cabernet you could get at Costco. I always forget the name. If any of y'all have a Costco near you, I recommend checking it out responsibly.
Of course.
Responsibly.
Of course, we're all
And
responsible
legally.
drinkers here. Yes, without a doubt.
Yeah. So shifting gears here, let's talk music.
Oh.
You, like me, are a musician.
Mhm.
As people can see, you have a guitar in the background. How long have you been playing guitar?
Oh boy. A long time. I want to say I wasn't even a teenager yet when I picked up the guitar for the first time. Yeah, I want to say like 10, 11. somewhere around there since
Oh
I was
wow.
that age. And then yeah, so yeah, right around there.
Have you also been playing piano for that long? Because your skills certainly show
Yeah,
suggest that.
well, uh, off and on. Um,
I'm the
I've
same way.
always, yeah, I've always had like a piano, like access to a piano,
Hmm.
but I haven't really, I mean, at least until I got, well, no, that's not true. I had a keyboard. So yeah, I've always really had a piano around, but I only started taking it more seriously within the past few years. To where like, you know, sat down and said, I want to learn this instrument. I want to be able to play it better than I can. I want to know how to actually, do the thing.
Yeah.
So that's kind of where my focus has gone with school too, is I'm gonna be focusing on the piano.
Nice.
So yeah. So I mean,
Cool.
yeah, pretty much my whole life I've had a piano around or some kind of keyed instrument or stringed instrument.
Absolutely. One of the first songs I've seen you play live on the piano was Song of Healing from Majora's Mask.
Nice.
That honestly blew me away. It sounded so professional. It sounded like it belonged in the game. If Nintendo remade that game,
Hire this man.
they got to partner you up with Koji Kondo because that was fab.
Hey Nintendo, how you doing?
I know you're
What's
watching.
I know you're watching.
Actually, I hope
this.
Nintendo's not watching because they would probably try and shut it down.
You mentioned the song, copyright strike.
Oh man. Well, thank you for that. I appreciate
On
that.
that note, like, what are your major musical influences? I know you have a few for sure.
Oh my God.
And
So many.
yeah, like what is really fundamental to your sense of music and the kind of music you like to listen to and the kind you like to make?
So the biggest artist, I know you two know this, but biggest artist that has influenced me and my music is an artist named Yanni. He plays the piano, composes all of his own music. He designs all of his own sounds. So all the sounds that you hear, all the synthesized sounds that he uses are his own creation. Cool. Which that has, like, of course, influenced me as I use a lot of synthesizers. I love synthesized music. I want to design my own sounds. I want to make it sound as much as much as possible,
like
original.
Laurel.
Yeah like
See what I did there?
What? Hold on, what?
I said Laurel because you said Yanni.
Oh god. I forgot about that.
That whole thing.
Oh my god.
Yeah, that feels like it was ever ago, but it was probably just a few years ago.
It was a few
Yeah.
years ago.
It's like basically eternity
It's
in
like
internet
the
time.
black and blue or gold and white dress.
Yep.
Yeah.
One of those deals.
Absolutely. Have you ever played in any bands?
Briefly. I played in this one band in high school. It was not very good. We never played any shows.
This is the way.
I've been there.
Yeah.
It's basically
this is
just
relatable.
like we met up for like a rehearsal a couple times, and then it was just like, all right, well, that was fun.
Yeah.
And then I played, like, when I was still like actively going to church, I played in the church band, but other than that, no.
Yeah.
Basically just been me.
Cool. For solo music production, sorry, I'm not done with the music thing.
Right. Oh, I'm not either. Go for it.
Like if I used to play music, I haven't for a very long time. Lately, I've been really feeling like I want to get back into it as it's such a pure form of creative expression.
Yeah.
And a way of just like, feeling your feelings.
Yeah.
Which is something that I sometimes struggle with. It's like it's a very emotional art form for me.
Yeah.
For you, is it an emotional outlet like that? Is that 100%. Largely why you?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Like, I really get into it when I'm working on a song, or like I've spent there's one song that I'm working on that I've been working on for a few years now. And I remember sitting down to work on that song, and I got so into it that I like, when I finally took a break, I was just like, oh, that was probably like 10-15 minutes. I looked down and it had been 2 hours working on this song.
Time for bathroom.
That will happen.
And yeah. And so like, just, it's hard to kind of like, explain, but it's, when I'm making music, it's literally like everything else just disappears. It's like, it's just me and the song that I'm working on.
Yeah.
And there have been times where like I'm just kind of sitting there noodling around on the piano or something, and it's especially when I'm this has happened when I've been like anxious or depressed or stressed or something like that, and I'm sitting there and I'm kind of like working through something mentally, and then all of a sudden I notice that what I'm playing is matching what I'm feeling. And so I'm like, whoa, okay, and then I like kind of get excited, but then I like get right back into it, and it's like, yeah, it's a cool feeling, but it is totally just an emotional outlet, and a stress outlet,
for sure.
as much as anything. It's very therapeutic.
I feel the same way in some ways. Like when I'm writing a song, I like to write the music when I'm happy and the lyrics when I'm sad.
Oh, interesting.
That's
a
how
cool
I
process.
do it. When I'm writing the music portion, I tend to have more energy put into it when I'm in a good mood. But when I'm writing the lyrics, it's more relatable when I'm sad for most people. I don't know, probably because I've been listening to Nirvana for so long. I don't know. That's probably what it is. But yeah. So Drake, you recently put out a song called Get Ready for Action. And of course, when you first announced it, the first thing that came to my mind was the beginning of Blink-182's self-titled album.
Yeah. Honestly,
does it have anything to do with that?
Kind of. It was like, so I'll give you guys the scoop. So I named it that because I intended to release that song on March 10th before I even named the song. And the reason why I wanted to release it on March 10th was because that happens to be the 69th day of the year.
You thought
Bravo.
So then
that means
like, okay,
Mario Day is the 69th day of the year.
My God.
Yep. Coincidence?
What does it mean?
I think not.
What does it mean?
But so then I was just like, okay, well, I'm releasing it on the 69th day of the year. I need to have some kind of like name that will be like kind of innuendo-ish, I guess.
Slightly suggestive, but could
slightly
also be
suggestive.
maintain
Yes.
that plausible deniability.
Yes. And so I was just like, then that popped into my head, that Get Ready for Action. And I was just like, that is perfect. I'm going with it.
Amazing.
Get ready for action on the 69th day of the year.
Amazing.
Yeah.
I had no idea.
We'll have a link below in the description. Go check that song out, y'all.
It's real good. I could say it's a banger.
It is
I'm
banger.
working on getting it on Spotify too.
Nice.
Ah, yes.
Nice.
That's in the
Do
works.
Do it. Yeah. Too bad there's no 420th day of the year.
I
mean,
know.
there is 420, but
Yeah, but
there's
there's
420.
yeah, but we only have
Yeah.
365 days of the year for 3 out of 4 years, and 366 for leap years.
Hold on. Let's do a little math here. So
Okay.
420 divided by 2 would be 210. So what is the 210th day of the year?
That's
that's
a
way too much.
very good question.
210th. Oops.
What if you
day.
chose
That's
the day
gonna-
halfway between day 69 and 420 date?
I'll-
There should be a day halfway
Yeah.
between those two.
And
right?
plus-
That's a good idea.
And plus, the 69th day varies because of leap years. Once again,
Yeah, it's so annoying.
was it
It's true.
was it the 69th day on this year? It should be,
This
right?
Was this year a leap year?
This-
it
no.
wasn't a leap year.
No.
So yeah,
on a
no,
regular,
69th
every
day.
3 out of 4 years.
Yeah, the next
Mario
leap year
Day is day 69.
Yeah, the next
Yeah.
leap year is 2024.
Yeah. Okay. So it was 69th day of a normal non-leap year.
Yes.
Glad we've established this.
Yes.
The joke
is...
worked this year.
Yes.
Like not every year.
This year. Exactly.
Yeah. What are some other musical influences you have?
Oh man, I kind of realized just a little bit ago I never finished answering that question. So other than Yanni, I've been I love the band called OAR. Stands for Ever Revolution. They're just like a solid jam, just fun band. So I really like them. I really like an artist named Stromae. He is from Belgium and he does music all in French, but it's like this cool electronic, like mixed with acoustic instruments and like analog instruments and stuff like that. And it just the way he composes things, the like imagery that he makes with his music is so freaking cool. And so like I've been kind of trying to emulate that, especially lately.
Yeah.
So he's been a big influence on my music lately. Oh man. And then I have like Keith, you probably know we have music running through our head all the time.
Oh yeah.
And like, at least for me, a lot of it is not stuff I've heard before. It's like, so it's just music that's just coming to me. And so I hear like Alter Bridge style songs. I hear Blink 182 style songs. I hear like Rise Against style songs.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. So my influences range, but I would say the main ones that have had impact on my music lately are probably Stromae and Yanni.
Absolutely.
The biggest ones.
That's awesome.
I imagine Daft Punk too. I remember.
Oh yes.
I remember when.
Why didn't I mention Daft Punk?
I remember when they split.
How could you?
I remember when they split. You did an a cappella tribute on Twitter singing
That's
"Doing It
right.
Right."
Yeah.
That
really cool.
blew my mind
was very
even
cool.
more than the actual original song did. In fact, here it is right here.
Doing it right, everybody will be dancing and we're feeling it right. Everybody will be dancing and be doing it right. Everybody will be dancing when we're feeling alright. Everybody will be dancing tonight.
Daft Punk came to mind when you mentioned French electronica, because that's what Daft
Yes.
Punk is, and it's been
Better than
huge
not.
over
Yeah.
there for so long.
Very true.
Oh yeah.
I was
Yeah, no,
obsessed.
Daft Punk.
I was obsessed with their album Discovery.
So good.
back in high school. In fact, what was the name of that song? I think it's Night something. You know what I'm talking?
Yeah, Night Vision.
Night Vision. I used to listen to that song on repeat to put myself to sleep before ASMR was a thing.
Dude, I love
That
that,
was
so cool.
whole entire album. It's so good.
It's
Dovetail.
Just so great. So yeah, Daft Punk, another huge influence on my music
Absolutely.
now and way back to when I first heard them. They're
Right.
great.
What this is a little bit of a aside, but what software, I mean, do you both use? Like, what's your DAW that you guys use?
I'm glad you asked that, because I use FL Studio because Drake got me into it.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, that's what he uses. I started out using GarageBand and then eventually upgraded to Logic Pro. But now I use PCs mostly, and Logic Pro is only on Mac.
Yeah, GarageBand too, right?
It's made by Apple.
Yeah.
And I was looking for a good DAW that A, I can afford, and B, was of quality. And in literally everything today, it's hard to balance the two. But I saw Drake do his mixes on Twitch, and they were amazing, and it looked very, very user friendly. And so I asked him, what do you use? And he's like, FL Studio. So I checked it out, and I started recording it recently and having a blast.
Dude, I love FL Studio. If I would love to be sponsored by FL Studio.
I know you're listening.
Honestly, I know you're listening.
And Nintendo, come on, guys.
Image Line, Nintendo, call me.
That's cool. I'll have to check it out. I've been doing a little bit of just like playing around with VSTs and just sequencing some fun stuff just for the hell of it lately. And I've been using Reaper mostly.
Reaper's the one that
cool.
Bearded
Seems
Audio
cool, but it's
uses.
like, there's a lot. Like, holy crap, there's a lot. To
Yeah,
Reaper.
Reaper's great.
It's
Yeah.
really involved. So
Yeah, FL Studio, I really like it because it's very user friendly. it is also you buy it once, you get free updates for life. So every new
Nice.
version you get for free. You never
Nice.
have to buy it again.
Yeah, that is
Yeah.
well worth it for sure.
That's like a huge like, hey, yeah. selling
Especially
point.
especially these days, that's a rarity. Gaming,
Yeah.
It's when everything's
gaming
a
is rarely that
subscription,
way
right?
anymore. With
Yeah,
with,
seriously.
yeah, with subscriptions, with DLC and microtransactions and all
True,
that.
seriously. Yeah. Yeah.
It's nuts.
It's like just release a complete game. Like it's
Speaking
and then
of
add DLC that improves the game.
speaking of gaming, that's actually next on my list.
Wow, look how you did that.
Yeah, that wasn't even intentional. To be honest.
No, we got to own it. That's a pro level podcast host move.
Yeah, you
right
did
there.
that. That was a perfect segue.
Anyway, what are some of the first games you've played?
Zelda.
Mm-hmm.
Zelda.
No surprises here.
No surprises whatsoever. I think Ocarina of Time was the very first Zelda I ever played.
Me too.
And I remember sitting there thinking like, whoa, like this is, I realized that I could just like get totally into this world and these characters
Mhm.
and the story. And I was just like, this like gaming, this is a thing that exists. I was just like, this is amazing. And it was like mind blown, life changed. And yeah, so Zelda was the first. And then I got into, I freaking loved Diddy Kong Racing.
Yes.
Nice.
Diddy Kong Racing was amazing. Mario Golf, amazing. Super Mario 64, GoldenEye.
One of my all-time favorites right there.
GoldenEye. So
Sensing a
good.
theme here, an N64 theme.
Little N64 was kind of my childhood. Yeah. Then I got a Game Boy, so that led to Pokemon and
yeah.
Am I the only ASMRist that doesn't play Pokemon?
Apparently,
Yeah, probably the only one. I think everyone else, literally.
It's bad enough that until a couple years ago, I was also the
obligated to play Pokemon. I don't know how you got out
It's
of that.
bad enough that I was also the only one until a couple years ago that never was playing Minecraft.
God,
I'm glad you
you're
fixed that.
Yeah, seriously. Now you need to fix it by getting into Pokemon.
Yeah, well, one of these days I will, but I will probably get my ass handed to me over and over again because I am so bad at all turn-based games. I never once won a Pokemon battle in my life in any context.
Oh, dude.
Yeah, you'd probably be okay.
You'd be
Like,
okay.
After a while, when I was little, my mom told me something. It was an arbitrary number, but it stuck with me to this day because it is a good philosophy to live by. Quote, if you lose 100 times, you can win a lot.
I like it.
All right.
I like
yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Okay.
So anybody watching this who is afraid of failure, just go for it and fail 100 times. And you will succeed. I'm just kidding. Well, you're more likely to succeed the more you fail. That is definitely.
You're going to learn a hell of a lot from the 100 failures.
Yeah.
Along the way, right?
It's like you will
Exactly.
succeed. It'll just really suck while you're trying to figure it out.
Exactly.
You only
I
gotta
mean,
succeed once.
every
Well,
content
that's
creator
all.
knows that. Every content
Seriously.
creator goes
Oh,
through that
yeah.
all the time. Even after they're successful, they're still dealing with a lot more failures than successes. That's just how
Story.
life is. Batters in baseball, the Hall of Famers succeed 30% of the time.
Yeah.
It's insane, but that's how it is.
Mhm.
Hold on, I unplugged my headphones.
Yeah. I need to grab a coat. I'm
I just need to do that 99 more times.
We're getting there.
So you mentioned GoldenEye, so I have to ask, if you and I played each other in GoldenEye, who do you think would win?
Probably you.
What Keith is saying is 1v1 me, scrub.
1v1 me scrub.
Bring it, bro.
Yeah. That's on James Bond 235's Twitch channel. It's been a bit of a debate that eventually will settle who would win between him and I, because he is James Bond, but I have unlocked all the cheats without cheat codes. Granted, I was in high school,
You're a little rusty. This is a little bit.
but yeah, I do have the wherewithal to kick ass and take names in GoldenEye.
I believe it.
Yeah.
I believe it.
The thing is, the hardest, anyone who's played GoldenEye and tried to unlock cheats knows that the hardest one to unlock, or at least among the hardest, is the invincibility cheat. It's only in the facility, the second level, but you have to beat on 00 agent at 2 minutes and 10 seconds, I believe it was. And many people give up and claim it's impossible because in order to do it, you have to rush through guards and not engage them on the hardest difficulty, and dodge as many shots as possible, hide behind walls constantly while you're opening
Turns into the
doors.
Matrix, you gotta.
It's ridiculous. And then get all the way toward close to the end where the labs are and hope that Dr. Doak is there because his position is random. And if he's not there, you have to start over.
That sounds
So
nightmarish.
frustrating.
That sounds nightmarish.
It takes an insane amount of patience to do it. I've done it maybe 2 or 3 times lifetime
Wow.
over the course of 25 years.
Some of your greatest achievements.
In gaming, yes, absolutely. That is nothing to sneeze at.
It's
I
just
love
too
it.
bad it didn't happen like in front of a camera, you know, like you could have like
You should
back
become
in
a
the
Golden
day,
Knight
just-
streamer.
Maybe I should do a stream where I just dedicate that whole stream just trying to unlock invincibility in GoldenEye.
Absolutely.
But what if I do it the first try and then the stream's over in a couple minutes?
Nah, I'm sure you can find something else to do.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming.
Yeah.
Well, I guess that's it.
Yeah. I always
I'm
when
just
I
that good. Sorry,
whenever I
guys.
do anything James Bond related, I always put on a tux. It's my tradition.
And you
That's
look
cool.
hella good in that talk.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Do.
Fresh.
Do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sharp AF. I have a quick question here since we're on this sort of like the intersection of music and games.
Yes.
Drake, do you have a favorite game soundtrack?
That's a good question.
That is a good question.
I like that question.
I ask because I listen to a lot of game soundtracks. I have quite a
Yeah.
few that I really love. So I was wondering if you had any that you find particularly enjoyable or influential.
Yeah, that's a good question. I think the obvious one would be Ocarina of Time.
Yeah, that's a safe answer.
That's a
That's
good answer.
It's a solid one
Yeah.
for sure. Halo 4 had an amazing soundtrack.
Oh yes.
Halo 4 soundtrack was incredible. I mean, all the Halos. Let's just
Yeah,
be
I
real.
can't speak to Halo 4 specifically, but like the Halo series in general has some real bangers.
Oh yeah.
Like, especially Halo 1 through, I think, Reach or 3. Whenever Bungie was still doing it, and Martin O'Donnell and Michael Salvatore were the ones composing the soundtracks for the games.
Mhm.
And then Halo 4, Neil Davidge and another guy whose name I can't remember did the soundtrack, and they just like did it justice so well. And just like they even
It's a hard act to follow up too, right? So,
seriously,
Yeah,
seriously.
absolutely.
like
They even took one of my favorite themes from it originated in Halo 2, and they just like recreated it for the credits. And I was sitting there just like jaw on the floor, just listening to it when I beat Halo 4.
It's always such like an emotional moment I find when like a composer takes themes that you recognize either from older games or movies or even earlier in the game and then like reprises them like over the
Yes.
credits or something, especially if you get like a medley. It's like revisiting all these moments, you know, all these
Absolutely.
emotional highs.
I had
And I
that.
was just like goosebumps.
I had that feeling with Super Smash Brothers Brawl when you're going when you're
yes.
going through Donkey Kong's world and they
Sure.
play Sticker Brush Symphony from Donkey Kong Country 2.
That's so cool.
Because Donkey Kong Country 2 is my favorite gaming soundtrack of all time. And
Nice.
That's a good one.
everybody.
Was that Grant Kirkhope or?
No, that was David Wise. Grant
Okay.
Kirkhope.
Okay.
Most of the games that Grant Kirkhope did when he was at Rare was during the N64 era.
Okay.
But
all right.
David Wise did the songs for the Donkey Kong Country series, including the ones post Rare.
Mom,
Didn't know that. Cool.
Yeah.
I have
It's
two
nice they kept
more
the continuity.
also that just popped into my head. One is a lot of people shit on this soundtrack. They're like, there's not enough music. The Breath of the Wild soundtrack. I would die on this hill.
There's there's an insane amount of great songs throughout Breath of the Wild. The thing is, people don't think about it because the overworld had a very soft, subtle song
just
going
very
over it.
restrained, which honestly
Yeah.
I appreciate that too. Like,
Yeah,
I do like how much restraint they use with the overworld music.
It fit the
because
game.
the thing
Yeah.
it really fits the mood of Breath of the Wild's overworld
Absolutely.
because it's so vast and you're taking everything in, and it's
like
brilliant
these
that
little
they
pieces of beauty in this
yeah
vast overworld.
they don't
right? So-
they don't overwhelm you with the music combining with so much taking in. They put just a
Exactly.
little bit to add flavor.
and
Yeah,
it really
that-
gives the sorry. Go ahead, Drake.
I was just gonna say, like you're right. Like a big overarching theme in a part of the world where you are spending a significant amount of time in, and it's so dense. Like you're just gonna get overwhelmed by the music. You'll get tired of it.
Right, exactly. It'll become oppressive, you know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And it really allows the environmental ambience a chance to breathe as well by not
Exactly.
having it constantly, underneath music.
and then on top of that, they're like, people are like, there's not enough music, blah 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 blah. I'm like, no, there is so much music in that game.
Yeah,
Like there's a day and night theme for every single town.
sure.
There's a day and night theme for when you're riding your horse. There's two different guardian battle themes. There's like like just Hyrule Castle itself. There's the outside theme. There's Zelda's room theme. There's the the dining hall theme. Like there's people are just like, there's not enough music. You're wrong.
You are categorically incorrect.
Categorically, objectively incorrect.
I'm going to get a little unconventional here. One of my favorite songs in that game actually is the dramatic music that plays when the blood moon is approaching.
Oh yeah, that's so
yes.
good.
I was-
that one
good.
really makes it gives me anxiety.
Yeah,
But,
I
like,
was
in a good way,
I was 30
Like-
or I was pushing 30. I was actually 29 going on 30 at the time it came out, but it still scared the crap out of me as if I
Yeah,
was a little kid.
for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's unsettling. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay, I thought of another two. My bad. Okay, so Star Fox 64.
Oh yes.
Fantastic
Okay.
soundtrack.
Dude,
Okay.
we were just joking about that today because as of the time we're recording this, we aired ASMR Destiny's episode just hours before we started recording, and Aaron said, "What does the fox say?" And I said, "Check your G diffuser system."
Perfect.
That's amazing. So Star Fox 64, really good. And then Majora's Mask also
Okay.
really good. Like specifically to name one song off that entire soundtrack that is amazing is the Final Hours theme. So like just before the moon is going to crash, that theme that plays.
Sure.
I remember when I was a kid, the first time I heard that, I just like dropped my controller and just listened to it and just sat
Me too.
there. Like, and going back to the whole like music being an emotional thing, like I just felt the like desperation and like the the doom that was coming just with that song.
Yeah.
And like so good. So yeah, those are my favorites.
Rad. Those are all awesome.
Absolutely. Now, speaking of games that actually don't have all that much of a soundtrack except for like the menu, let's talk Flight Simulator.
Yes.
Because this Flight Simulator personally has been a big part of my streams, in large part because it was a big part of yours. So I gotta ask, what got you into Flight Simulator?
My dad actually. So my dad and I, when I was a kid, we would go to the airport and just hang out and plane watch all day. And I live not too far from military base. So we have like military aircraft coming in and out all the time.
That's cool.
And I remember when I was a kid, one of my favorite things to like wake up to was the sound of a C-141 taking off and doing touch and goes at the airport. It just like, I remember that vividly when I was a kid. And so like we would go to the airfare and do all of that. And then my dad discovered Flight Simulator and he showed it to me and was just like, hey, check this out. Like you can fly a plane on the computer. And so ever since then, I was just like, this is the coolest shit ever.
How long ago was this?
Oh boy, I was like not even 10.
Wow.
I was like 5 maybe.
Yeah. It was like
Yeah.
the
So
first
cool.
the first Flight Simulator was like 1982, I think, right?
Yeah, way the
Yeah.
hell back. Yeah,
Yeah.
there have been flight
Yeah.
sims for a long
I'm,
time. But
I'm
Yeah.
amazed.
we're far cry from those early flight sims.
I think
Yeah.
I think Flight Sim 95 was the first one I ever played.
Okay,
Then 98. yeah.
So about 22 to 25 years before I got into it.
Yeah.
yeah, I got into it when 2020 came out.
Yeah. And kind of
Yeah.
like piano, I was off and on with it. So like it's only until recently that I really got serious about it.
Well, the latest flight sim, Microsoft Flight Sim, is so mind-blowing
Mhm.
just
Yes.
in its scope and fidelity and all of it. Like, even as a guy that's not big into flight sims, like, it freaking blows my mind. And like, I like the idea. I think maybe I like the idea of a flight sim a little more than I like actually engaging with it. But I think that's just because I'm bad at it.
Dude,
I
I'm
think
bad
I
at
really
it
just
too.
have to- I just have to do it more.
It's
But
a meme in my flight simulator streams how bad I am,
is.
particularly
Yeah, I
at
seem to remember
landing.
you landed like in my house once or something.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I forgot about that. No. No. All right. That was a complete disaster. But we landed in Victoria. Don't tell Nick this happened.
Straight through Nick's wall and just like, oh, hi, Nick.
I'm like, hop in. I've been meaning to get you to play Flight Simulator for so long.
This
Now's
is
your
how you're gonna
chance.
force me to stream flight sim with you.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No,
but
I really want to stream some flight sim one of these. I need to get back into it. I even bought a stick, like a HOTAS setup. I gotta
that's
get
neat.
it.
I don't
going
even
again.
have that, dude.
Dude,
I just gotta get back into it.
Drake is
currently
fun.
have my freaking peripheral set up because I've been playing Flight
Yeah.
Simulator nonstop the past few days.
Drake is so fun to play Flight Simulator with.
I believe it.
Let's take a look at a clip of him flying in the background while I'm doing ASMR from my plane. Take a look.
We could do like a dual cockpit thing. I mean, like, I'd
Yeah.
be able to like
Yeah.
fly around, show
Yeah.
you shit or whatever.
One day we have to plan that because like
Yeah.
I really do want to get back into that game. Like, it seems cool as hell. And like,
Yeah, man.
I've got the stick and everything, and like, it'd be rad to do something with you guys on a stream.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
that'd be fun.
Yeah.
That'd be really fun.
Hell yeah.
Just like a crazy sightseeing where like all of
Yeah.
us just throw realism to the wind and just like
That's what I
fly
do.
through buildings in London or something.
Flying around the pyramids like 10 feet
Yes.
away.
It's always so funny when people who actually know how to fly come into my chat and you're like,
You're like, oh
yeah,
god,
yeah,
what are
you're
you doing?
this all wrong. Without Nick leaving and deserting us, let's talk sport ball. Because
I'm just chill.
yeah, because Drake, as we can see, you're a big Mariners fan.
Oh yeah.
Wait,
What makes you think that?
oh, just the just
Yeah,
the
just a
M,
hunch.
just the M that stands for
Well,
yeah, that thing.
Murder.
Totally different. Totally not even. Yeah.
No, this stands for
Actually-
something else that starts with an M.
Actually,
Hold on a second.
I gotta balance
on
your
a sec-
energy out, bro.
Oh, okay. All right.
Just tough to do with headphones.
Now we
on.
just need
Chris
Nick
is not
to,
gonna like this because he's a Dodgers fan.
I'm
just
pretty
need
sure I
Nick to-
literally do not own a ball cap. Like, I couldn't even do that if I wanted to.
It's not a single one.
Not a single.
Yeah, dude, I grew up on
Need it.
baseball. I've played a lot of baseball as a kid and watched a lot of baseball as a kid and into adulthood. But yeah, so
Dude, I grew up watching Griffey play, man.
yeah,
Good
dude.
days.
I
Good
remember
times.
when I got Major League Baseball featuring Ken Griffey Jr. on N64.
Wait,
I-
where's my copy? I have a copy of it right here.
Hold on. Let me keep that
boom.
there. I'll be right back.
Incredible.
I love it. Love it. It's like one of my formative games.
Are baseball games good? Like, are they actually good? Or is it just like kind of
this
the
one
baseball
was.
fantasy? Like, is the actual playing of it fun usually? I don't know. I've literally never played a baseball game.
I haven't played too many. They're kind of quirky because it's like hard to simulate real
Yeah.
life, you know.
Yeah.
So like real life baseball. So like there'll be some funky, weird shit that happens in the games, and it's like that would never happen in real life.
Right. There's some
Um,
concessions made to gametize it, to video
yeah.
gametize it.
Yeah,
Right.
I've had a hard time. I mean, they're fun, but I have a hard time like getting my head around them.
Sure.
Here it is.
There you go.
Hell
Look
yeah.
at that.
Hell yeah.
That's great.
Too bad we can't play online with N64.
I know. I wish
Wait,
Project 64 would come up with like a multiplayer kind of
Did
add-on.
the
or something.
N64 ever have an online adapter? Was there ever any online
No,
available? I don't
that
think
wasn't
so.
until the 6th gen.
I think
Yeah,
that was
I know that
GameCube
the
is where it got-
Dreamcast shipped with online.
Yeah,
I can't
Dreamcast
remember
is
if there was some
part-
weird like add-on expansion pack dongle thing or something.
yeah.
Yeah.
The GameCube had a broadband adapter and a
Right.
56K adapter. God forbid. Um,
Beautiful.
those are the days.
Those are the
Yeah,
days.
man.
But there were like 3 games for GameCube that had online. I think not even.
Yeah, it
I
just
don't-
wasn't really a thing.
Yeah, PlayStation kind of embraced it, and of course there was Xbox Live that really embraced
Blew
it.
Xbox was kind of the
Yeah, that was
I
the
feel like they were
watershed
kind
moment,
of
wasn't it?
They were
Yeah.
the true pioneers of
Like the
online
spearheads,
gaming,
yeah.
at least at least on the console side.
Yeah.
dude. So many good memories of Halo multiplayer.
Back on PC, we were playing online games. We were playing Quake in '98.
Yeah, pretty much. But yeah, so when I got
remember playing Call of Duty or one of those games with a friend of mine.
I remember playing Pong. That's not a joke, by the way. That was my first game.
Pong's great.
Yeah, my
Definitely
my
beats
grandpa
you.
had Pong, and we used to play it, and he would beat me literally every time except once.
Grandpa ain't taking no prisoners.
Nah,
he
he
wants his grandson to get good.
yeah,
To get
yeah.
better,
He worked for Pacific Bell. He was really into the tech scene.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
That's funny.
But so when I got this game, I remember wanting to go up to Seattle, see a Mariners game to see Griffey play, and my mom actually bought tickets. This was why we went up to Seattle and eventually Victoria and back to Seattle.
Oh,
She
really?
bought tickets to see a Mariners game, and before we went, he was traded to the Reds.
Oh man, I think you were telling me
Yeah,
about that.
but-
That's so rough.
Later that same year, the Reds came to San Francisco, so we got
So
to
you
see
gotta
him
watch
play.
Griffey.
Yes,
That's bitching.
yeah.
That's bitching.
It all worked
I
out,
gotta
man.
go. I gotta go to a game just before, like when he returned to Seattle after being with the Reds and the White Sox and all that.
hmm
I got to see him in a game at Safeco at the time, T-Mobile Park now.
Yeah.
But like I got to see him before he retired. I was just like, yes, I got to see him in person anyway.
Absolutely. You know, it's so funny. Speaking of stadiums changing names, as a San Francisco fan, that's pretty tough because Oracle Park was originally Pacific Bell Park, then it was SBC Park, then it was AT&T Park, and now it's Oracle Park. And what I notice is that every time that stadium changes its name, the Giants get a new manager at the same time, every single time.
Huh.
Yeah, it was Dusty Baker with Pacific Bell, Felipe Alou with PNC, Bruce Bochy with AT&T, and now Gabe Kapler with Oracle.
Huh.
Pretty
Wow.
crazy.
Wow. Our manager stayed the same since the name change. He's
Yeah.
doing good. Service is great.
Yeah. Did you play any ball back in the day?
I did not really. I was on a team. This is gonna get kind of sad, but I was on a team when I was in like grade school, and then the other kids bullied me so bad that I
Aw.
quit.
Ah,
Oh,
Yeah.
I can
sucks.
kind of relate.
Told you it got sad.
I feel like that's sort of like quintessential kids sports experience to some degree, though. I
Yeah.
didn't play baseball, but I did play soccer, and some of the
Mm.
kids on that team were kind of assholes.
Yeah. That's how it is. I played soccer for a couple years when I was really little, and I was the absolute worst. to the point where I think I scored one goal ever, and my uncle took a picture of me scoring that goal and fucking framed it on my wall.
Hey, right? That's totally
That's
worth-
awesome.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
No, that's
but
a good uncle thing to do.
it is, but
Hey, Oswald.
every time I looked at it, I was reminded that I actually was horrible at soccer. But then I started playing t-ball and then Incredible, which for those who don't know is Incredible is baseball with an actual softball. It's not like softball where they call it soft, but it's not. It's an actual soft, not quite Nerf ball status, but pretty dang close. It looks like a real ball, but you can actually squeeze it, and it doesn't hurt too much when it hits you. How do I know? In Incredible, the coach pitches, and I hit the ball and it hit my coach in the chest.
I'm okay.
He's like, "Kid, are you trying to kill me?" But
like you knocked the wind out of him. He's like,
yeah, he was fine because it was Incredible. And what's really interesting is that I did that for 2 years, and in our local Incredible leagues, we got to choose our own team names. Well, we would all vote on what our team names was. The first one, I was the A's. I know. The second one, we were the Flying Pizzas. I don't know how that happened, but our opponent,
we need an MLB team. We need an expansion team.
Yes, we do. Our opponents would often chant from the dugout, "Let's eat the pizzas! Let's eat the pizzas!"
But yeah, serve up a delicious defeat.
Yeah, and then finally I started playing an actual competitive Little League. My first year I was on the A's again. and then for 2 years I was on the White Sox, and then I went over to Babe Ruth baseball for a year and I was on the Giants.
Nice.
But these weren't our hats. We had the classic G hat that Willie Mays is known to wear. That's what we wore.
That's cool. That's cool. I got a new beer.
Oh, nice.
This is still from Rogue, but it's called Dreamland.
I've not tried that one.
It's an American lager.
Hazy. Is it what, sorry?
It's an American lager.
Okay.
Yeah.
Dreamland made me think something like hazy IPA or something.
Their Bat Squatch is so good.
Oh, I've had the Bat Squatch too. Also very good.
I love that.
So good.
Now I know how Nick feels talking about sports ball because I'm gluten free and cannot learn about beer.
I'm so sorry for your situation there, Keith.
Well, Nick's just getting revenge. So
fair.
Talking about beer, talking about sports ball.
Little details about the experience of Drakonis on Twitch. You have some interesting memes surrounding your streams. Couple of my favorites, Reminder Cat, as we mentioned earlier. How did that come to be?
So that one came from the same friend that gave me shit about calling myself the Mighty Draconis.
That's great.
His friend sounds like a gold mine.
Yeah, for real.
He is one of my best friends. Like, real talk, he is one of my best friends. Tom, if you're watching this, you're awesome.
We love you, Tom. I don't know you, but you're awesome.
He's great. He's great. He's an asshole, but he's great.
That's how it works.
Right?
Like, you have to be an asshole to your friends. Otherwise, are you really friends?
Absolutely.
Like, let's be real.
Dude, one of my best friends, my roommate, his name is Chad, and he is very much a Chad.
There you go. Living up to his name.
He really is.
But yeah, that came from him. So back in high school, when the game was at its peak, he would just like walk around. We were always just randomly like, "Oh, hey, the game!" And and then one time he walks up to me and he gets real close to me and he goes, "Reminder Cat reminds about the game."
I wonder how he came up with that.
Yeah, where did that come from?
No, but we were in like the middle of lunch, and I just like turned to him, I flipped him off, and I go, "Fuck you, Tom."
That's great. Yeah, well, it's extra special when you do the ASMR version of that, and you just whisper it.
Oh, and it's great when he's in the chat because then I'm just like, you're getting a taste of your own medicine.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. That's what I'm talking about.
It's great to be able to throw it back at him.
And also, your chat bot / your Capamon, Dad Bot Boy 2000. How'd you come up with that?
How did I come up with that? I feel like it was just something random. I was just like, okay, I need a bot account. I need a name for it. And I was just like, all right, let's go with generic Dat Bot Boy 2000.
It's very simple.
I kind of wish it was stemmed from Vanilla Ice when it's like, "Yo, Vanilla, kick it one time, boy." Because I'll be honest, had I come up with Dat Bot Boy, that would probably have been the reason.
Yeah. Yeah,
I only
no,
know like 2 Vanilla Ice songs, Ice Ice Baby, and that one track of that kid saying that, or where it was. Maybe it was him. I don't know.
Amazing.
I only know one Vanilla Ice. I know. Yeah. Let me try that again. I only know one Vanilla Ice song, and I wish I didn't.
That's fair.
Not a fan. You heard it here first, Drake. Not a fan of Vanilla Ice.
Not a fan of Vanilla Ice. Jenna Lee, on the other hand, in college, so she went to school for theater, and she had an assignment where they had to dress up as someone completely opposite of them and do like a whole routine as that person.
Pretty good.
And so she goes, "So I'm a woman. What's more opposite than a man?" And so she picked Vanilla Ice. She learned the entire song and had to lip sync it and perform it in front of her whole entire class.
That is awesome.
That's
Where
serious
did you
commitment.
come from?
That's serious commitment.
When did you come in here?
Good timing.
Oh, okay. I didn't even know you were in here, and then you just started talking. I'm like, where the?
But
fuck
now
is
she
that
can
from?
vet the accuracy of your story.
Oh,
That's true.
So you can tell them how accurate the story is.
Yeah, I humped the floor and everything.
Did you hear that?
Not really.
And I
What-
performed it
Here,
twice.
come. up to the-
Amazing.
I humped the floor and everything.
Amazing.
And I performed it twice.
Amazing.
That's amazing.
That's
So now,
commitment
like-
right there.
Every single time she gets the opportunity to do karaoke, you know what song she's doing.
The one she memorized all the words for.
Yes.
You
every
know
single
that
word.
means that when I come up to the Pacific Northwest, there's going to be karaoke nights.
And
Yes. there
Jenna
will
Lee's
be.
gonna put
What
on a
was
show
that,
for
Jenna
us.
Lee?
I know the difference between DJ and DJ.
Apparently, she knows the difference between DJ and DJ.
What is the
I
difference?
I do not.
I don't know what
What is the
DJ
difference?
is.
Lyrics is something DJ something something.
One's
Sometimes
fancy.
He says DJ. There's like one time in the song that he says DJ.
Weird. There's like,
DJ.
yeah, that's
And
weird.
that's a person, and I can't remember who that person is, but yeah.
Huh. Interesting.
Only
Interesting.
true Vanilla Ice fans know
Only
where-
true Vanilla Ice fan. Okay. Get out of here.
That's why nobody knew about it.
Exactly. No poster Vanilla Ice fans here.
There are no true Vanilla Ice fans.
I'm a fan of literal vanilla ice as in vanilla ice cream.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yes.
We can all get behind that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we have some fan questions, and as tradition of IGL that I just now made official, our co-host is going to be asking these fan questions. So take it away, Nick.
I am
Oh.
honored to be able to field these fan questions for Drake here. From some names that you might recognize.
Yes.
All right. First fan question coming from I am a grilled cheese sandwich, aka
Sammy.
Sammy. Hey Sammy.
Sammy, we love you.
All right. Question is, what is your favorite sandwich? That is all.
I think she's
Better
going to
be
ask
grilled
that on
cheese, it
every
better damn
episode
well
from
be
now
grilled
on.
That's amazing. That's a good question. My favorite sandwich has to be a BLT.
Oh, a good classic option. I do
Love a BLT.
Oh man.
Or a good Reuben.
Okay, I'm touching, like, it depends on the Reuben for me. You know, like, the one thing with the Reuben that I can't get with is sometimes you get the rye bread, and if there's caraway in the rye bread, I can't do that. I can't do the caraway. But
Interesting.
aside from that,
My
Well-
my dietary limits keep me away from the Reuben, but I can relate to the BLT, but for me it's an ALT, avocado, less than
Avocado.
tomato.
Ooh, that
Okay,
sounds
but for
good.
real
So
though,
good.
that's like equally good.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds delicious.
But
you can't go wrong with it.
Yeah.
And then if for me, you take it and you turn it into a BLAT, so bacon, lettuce,
Oh,
avocado,
yeah,
tomato,
Or a blat.
Yeah. Absolutely.
a
Give me that
blat.
Turn it
Give me
into
that
a
blat.
yes.
turn it into
Oh.
a blat, you'll be having a blast.
Hell
Okay,
yeah.
so what would a blast sandwich be then? What would the S part
Bacon,
A
be?
blast sandwich
lettuce,
would be a
bacon,
blat
avocado,
with
lettuce.
peppers in it that burn your mouth and it feels
But-
like an explosion happened.
Yeah, but it's gotta start
Bacon,
with an
lettuce,
S.
avocado, serrano, tomato.
Yes.
Okay, all right, sure.
Good choice on the Serrano.
Or no, never
Here's
mind. that'd be gross.
sriracha sauce. Put a little spicy in there.
Sriracha, yeah. Bacon, lettuce, avocado, sriracha.
About an hour
mean-
before we started recording, I was having Chinese food and I found a big dry cayenne pepper. I ate it and when my eyes turned into Niagara Falls.
No,
You're not
thank
afraid
you.
of torturing yourself with the peppers. We know this.
It's kind of my thing.
All right, but some good answers. Some good answers. Man, I really want a sandwich now. Holy
Me
shit.
too.
Me
God
too.
Dang, I'm hungry. All right.
Thank you for the question, Sammy.
Yeah, thanks, Sammy. Grilled cheese sandwiches also very good. Very
Yes, yes.
good.
Dane Cook even had a jingle showing his love for grilled cheese, where he's like, "I love grilled cheese."
That's about how I feel.
Yeah.
Okay, so carrying on from that, this is less of a question, more of a conversation topic. But Octodoodle would like us to talk about controversial food opinions. Drake, what are your
God.
controversial
Oh
food
my God.
opinions? Shout out to Octo, by the way.
How you doing, Octo?
Controversial food opinions.
Oh, come on.
We know.
I know we know we got
we
something
know.
to
We know what's
roll
coming,
with.
man. You can only stall it for so long.
I know what. See, here's the problem. I know what everybody wants me to say, but I don't know if that's
this
what
discussion. I understand.
I want to
I
say.
understand. Come up with something more interesting.
Something more interesting than like pineapple and pizza.
You said it. You said the words.
Okay, so we will touch on that real quick. We have to, because the food controversial question has been brought up. We have to touch on it. In the right circumstances, pineapple belongs on pizza.
Okay.
Under
Interesting.
the right circumstances.
Okay. All right.
Like-
I can get with that. Yeah.
Me too. I put pineapple maybe 70% of the time I make pizza.
Yeah. There are
Yeah.
absolutely pizzas that I would not want pineapple on for sure.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So like a Hawaiian pizza, no, thank you. I'll pass.
Okay. Well, that's where we depart.
I don't know. I just can't. Maybe I just haven't had good Hawaiian pizza.
Maybe.
You
Yeah.
know.
I
But-
have as a kid.
Yeah, but I mean, it's just that whole like salty sweet thing, you know. Like,
Oh, see,
Yeah.
I like
Savory
that.
and
I
sweet.
like
Me
the
too.
salty sweet juxtaposition.
See,
can
I
get
like
with
that, but not with Hawaiian pizza.
okay,
Fair.
I can respect that.
Yeah.
Even if I disagree.
There's this. Some of you are familiar. Until recently, I thought this was only local to my area, but apparently, mod pizza is actually pretty widespread now. Mod pizza, you can put strawberries on your pizza, and you could put barbecue sauce on it. You could put all kinds of things on it, and I freaking love it.
I want strawberries on my pizza. I've heard that strawberries and like balsamic can be really good, so I could
Oh
see
yeah,
like
that's so
maybe
good.
you
Yeah.
get that vibe going somehow, but it becomes like a flatbread at that point. Pizza.
I had a coworker that would always lecture me about how my pizza is always flatbread, because if you're gluten free, every fucking pizza you get at restaurants is going to be flatbread, which I'm fine with. But when I make my own pizza, it's gonna be thick like everyone else's pizza
Yeah, it's gonna be
with
thick.
with
That
two
really begs the
C's.
question though, like at
Thick.
what point does pizza diverge into flatbread? Like, what's the defining characteristic?
When the
there?
bread is flat.
Crust.
Yeah, well, pizza's flat too. I
no,
mean, like the crust.
Okay,
Pizza has like
when
crust. It puffs up.
When it's
Yeah, but what
thin.
if okay?
But
What if you have a crust that doesn't really puff up properly, like a homemade thing, and it doesn't really do that necessarily? Like I would still call it a pizza if it has all the pizza stuff on it.
I still call it, look, pizza, to me, if it's salad on toast, it counts. In fact, I had I had a girlfriend that described pizza as salad on toast.
Salad on toast.
Kind
I've
of.
never heard it.
It kind of
put
is
that
that
way.
way.
I mean, like everything you put on a pizza, you could put in a salad. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, you could.
Absolutely. In fact,
Except tomato
sometimes
sauce.
sometimes
you can put tomato sauce in salad.
sometimes I sometimes I'll have a pizza and a salad and dump the salad on the pizza and eat it that way. I don't do that often, but it's pretty dang good if you like crunchy shit.
I could see that working. I could see that working. So, question: is pizza sauce the defining feature of pizza?
Not.
Mm.
I don't know. That's a
No,
tough
because you
question.
could have
because
pizza
That
like
is
a
a very
barbecue
tough
sauce on it
question.
or something like
you
that.
you could have like no sauce pizza.
You know what?
I've had
flatbread.
Yep, I've had
It'd be a
straight
flatbread.
I've had straight sriracha sauce as my pizza sauce a few times.
Ooh, that'd be good too.
Okay. Yeah.
You know what I had the other weekend? It was like over the Easter weekend. There was a local pizzeria that was doing pizza. It was like a turkey meal. They do this every holiday kind of thing, apparently. Like a turkey dinner on a pizza. So the sauce was a gravy. It had stuffing and turkey, and cheese on top, and it had mashed potatoes in the middle, like a thing of
Wow.
mashed potatoes in the middle of the pizza.
That is
and
that
then
sounds
you dip it
interesting.
in cranberry sauce.
Oh.
And I wasn't sure how I was going to feel about it, but you know what? It was all right. It was all right. It tasted just like a turkey dinner. There's just some cheese in there, pretty much.
And an insane amount of tryptophan.
Yes, and also just like the general like caloric value of that pizza just put me right to sleep.
Oh,
That
yeah.
just sounds like a food monstrosity.
Don't get me wrong. It was terrible, but amazing.
It's like turducken. Have you heard of that?
Oh yes, I've never had
Yeah.
one, but
It's
so what if we?
I've
stuff
heard the
the
name, but
pizza
I don't know what that
inside the
is.
Duck, and then the duck inside the turkey. What's that?
oh.
Yeah. So it's basically just like, let me just make sure that I have this right. Turducken.
Oh, there's a chicken in there somewhere too.
Yeah. So a turducken,
Yeah,
here's
this is gonna upset your vegan sensibilities.
Don't worry, man. Dude,
quoting
I grew up around carnivores and I hosted this show with a carnivore.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
So, quoting from Wikipedia, turducken is a dish consisting of a deboned chicken stuffed into a deboned duck, further stuffed into a deboned turkey. So it's a
I didn't realize they're all deboned.
Yeah.
Again, I've never had a turducken, so
This is the only instance where beings can be stuffed into other beings and be deboned.
yes. That's a good one.
It took me a moment there,
That's
but
a
yeah,
good one.
I like
That's a good one. I will drink to that, good sir.
Yeah, turducken honestly sounds like a monstrosity. You know,
Yes. It looks like a monstrosity. I'm looking at pictures of it, and
it's
I'm
basically
just
a
like,
meat wad.
yes.
I love Meatwad. Meatwad's my favorite character.
Oh man, but for real though, I don't feel like I have any controversial food opinions.
Yes,
bet
you
you
do,
do.
dude. Come
I-
on.
do.
Do I like okay, what are your guys' controversial? And I'll see if I share any of
I love chips with barbecue sauce. Like corn chips with barbecue sauce.
I could see that. Oh, sure. Why not? Why not?
Like it's not hugely controversial, but it is unusual.
Yeah, it is unusual. That's true. I'm trying to think about it. Okay, here's one. Okay, this is not that weird, but like it's my favorite sandwich as a kid was a dill pickle and cream cheese sandwich.
That's good.
That's maybe controversial. I don't know. I haven't had it for years, but
Couple years ago, I made pasta and then put them in corn tortillas and had pasta tacos. I highly recommend it, even though it sounds really
I-
you like carb with your carb.
exactly. It's if you're watching your carbs, don't do this. but
Yeah.
but if you're going to have a carb day, I suggest trying it. Why
Yeah,
not?
I could. That seems all right.
I grew up like not with a super ton amount of money, so one of my favorite things to make when we didn't have like bread was if we had tortillas, I would put peanut butter on them and then jelly on them and then roll them up.
I've done that.
Oh yeah,
And
It's
like
good.
Yeah.
it's good.
yeah. My mom
It's
would
good.
make me those as a kid sometimes.
I would
Cool.
also like make tuna. So like I was gonna make a tuna sandwich, but then I would just like eat the tuna.
Oh hell yeah, that's just tuna
But it's
salad
all-
at that
it's
point.
good. Yeah, it's
basically.
good.
Yeah.
See, like I don't really have any controversial food opinions.
Chop up some
Well,
pickles or some
if it was
celery
the
in there,
early
that's-
90s,
No.
if it was the early 90s, then anything involving tuna would have been controversial.
Was there problems with tuna in the early 90s?
Yeah, there was. I can't remember exactly what it was, but I heard about it through Seinfeld and Lethal Weapon 2. That there was a whole tuna getting trapped in a certain thing. I can't remember the details, but basically there was a whole controversy surrounding tuna, and people were boycotting it in mass.
Interesting.
Tunagate.
Tunagate, exactly, pretty much.
I wonder if it was to do with like bycatch, like catching all the dolphins and stuff. by accident.
Yeah, exactly. It had something to do with dolphins.
Oh yeah,
'cause, like-
I do remember that.
Because Jerry was gonna have a tuna sandwich, and Elaine got in his case, and he was like, "Oh, the dolphin thing."
Oh yeah,
Yeah, that was
Yeah,
that
I
was like
remember
the
that.
first season.
Mom.
Classic. All right, controversial food opinions. Not really that much controversy here. surprisingly. I don't know.
Yeah, but
Think of anything, but
I'm
feel
I'm
free to
impressed that
interject.
Drake didn't say that one thing.
One thing.
Are we just waiting? Are we just waiting?
Well,
Yeah, we-
one thing.
Yeah.
Have I stated a controversial food opinion before?
Managed to like get beer in my beard.
There was one thing that I
Controversial food
mentioned
opinion.
somewhere on social media.
Oh, yes. You're friggin' your vaguely fruit flavored angry water.
Yes, that is my jam because I love things that are vaguely fruit flavored and angry as hell.
Okay, so let me just lay this out here. Like, I completely acknowledge that LaCroix tastes like it once knew a fruit, like in college. Like they did a project together in college, and it's been a decade. They're still on like Facebook somehow, but they just watch their posts.
Facebook of all, come on, Nick. Facebook, come on, man.
Well, that's what
Oh,
if
man.
it was a decade ago, that's what you would still maybe be on.
That's true.
I left Facebook years ago.
Fair. I don't use my Facebook for my personal account like at all ever, but
Yeah.
I do have one for the channel that I sort of
Yeah.
I forget my Facebook account exists until it's my birthday, and I'm like, oh yeah, I gotta log back in and thank people.
Yeah.
Go through the motions.
Yeah, it's so funny. One year I put my birthday on my profile, and then everybody that barely talked to me was like, happy birthday. And then I was like, okay, phase 2 of the experiment. I removed my birthday and I got like 4 birthday wishes.
Yeah,
Those,
seriously.
you knew those were the real ones. Those
Yeah,
were the,
those were the MVPs.
yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Exposed.
Exposed.
Yeah, but I'll still drink LaCroix. So there you
Yeah.
go.
The thing,
Well,
Sometimes I just want a weak flavor. I don't know.
yeah,
You know?
I'm drinking Waterloo, which is a different kind of seltzer. But the thing about seltzer is most people when they drink it, they're expecting soda. It's not. It's seltzer is sparkling water. Sometimes it has a little bit of essence in it to give it a bit of flavor. If you drink seltzer as often as I do, you start to actually taste legit flavor. Believe it or not, your senses heighten.
Okay, I can see that though, because wine's kind of the same way.
Yeah,
You
exactly.
have to develop
Sure,
a palate
sure.
for it.
Coffee too.
I just
Coffee too.
don't have that
And
palate
beer.
for.
You find the subtleties the more you have.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Like I can taste it. I know that there's flavor there, but it's like I said. It's like I said in the Discord earlier when Nick and I were talking about it. It's like I know that it's not soda, but I also know that it's not water. It's
Yes.
kind of like in this weird in between place
It's
where
true.
it's just like it's flavor. I can tell that there's flavor there, but it's not enough to where I'm just like, that's fruit flavored.
It's not satisfying either way, is what you're
Yeah.
saying.
It's like you just like did a little bit of like a fruit and let it sit in water for a little
Yeah.
while.
Well, funny thing is, LaCroix actually has a cola flavor, and
That sounds slightly revolting, I have to admit.
it does, but it's actually pretty amazing. But the thing is, other than a couple years ago, I drank Sprite on stream, losing a bet, well, actually pretending to lose a bet so that I would actually win the bet.
Devious.
Yeah, but other than that, I haven't had soda since 2014. So my
Wow.
body is very clear of that stuff.
That's impressive.
But the cola flavored LaCroix tastes like a far less sugary version of what I remember to be Coca-Cola.
Sure, I guess if that's your
Okay.
like your one way to experience the cola flavor.
Yeah,
My
pretty much.
one-
It's freaking amazing. I don't have it very often, but
Huh.
when I do it, I love it.
I've never seen that sold up here in Canada, but I'll
I've
have
never
to see
seen
if I
that
can find
either.
it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
maybe I'll drink it on stream one day and you'll see it.
Have to go to my local Bon Target and see if I can
Myth,
find.
the legend.
I don't
of
think it
cola
will. I don't
LaCroix.
think it will be at Target. That's Target for those of you who are not on the West Coast. I don't know. I don't
For
know if
those
that's
of
a
you
West
who
Coast.
don't love Target with all of your heart, and all of your soul,
Yo,
you can
I
call it
would, if
Target.
Hashtag
I
not
still had
sponsored.
Target here. Target came up here for like a year, like maybe 5 or 6 years ago or something like that. And like they completely fucked up their launch of the store here.
Oh,
They
no.
had no stock or anything, and they closed within like a year. They're like, okay, well, screw it, we're out.
That's
Oh,
all.
And we were
no.
like, see,
But
how was
yeah,
that?
Nick,
How
when you
was
come
that?
down here, we'll have to take you to Target. That'll be
Yeah.
one
The
of our
Target
stops.
experience.
and when y'all come down here, I'll hook y'all up with that LaCroix cola because I get it at a local co-op.
A LaCroix specialist.
A LaCroix specialist.
LaCroix star.
Yeah.
They're like super pretentious about it, and they call it Le Croix.
LaCroix.
You know,
Well,
it's
so
funny
across
because
Canada, like my family-
people have lectured me for so long for not calling it LaCroix.
My
Well, like-
family will only call it LaCroix, and if I call it LaCroix, I get dirty looks. So
No, I mean, that is the correct
La Croix.
pronunciation.
Well, French
If
is
we're being
more
honest.
French is more
Français.
common in Canada, though. Granted,
True.
it's
Yeah,
on the
that's
other
true.
side
In
of
the
Canada,
official
but
language.
Yeah, over here in like almost like central eastern Washington, everybody's just like, "Hey, can you get me a can of LaCroix?"
in California, it's a mix because literally everybody's here.
That's good for me to hear, though, that some Americans do in fact go for the Le Français, La Croix.
Yeah,
La Croix.
a lot of
But
people
well,
do,
most
actually.
most Americans who grew up here are only doing that to try to sound a lot fancier than they actually are. Let's be honest.
That's true. That's
It's
true.
the fancy drink.
It's fancy. It's like they
LaCroix.
drink
No,
it just
no
like with their
disrespect.
pinky up every time.
I'm not fancy like at all. I'm almost. I know I've worn a tux online a good few times, but
And
that's
you look
like
damn good while doing
thank
it.
you.
True.
But
makes
that
you
is like the peak of my fanciness. Like wearing a tux and drinking a martini while getting frustrated playing GoldenEye. That's my idea of
Dude,
being
fancy. Does
fancy.
it get fancier?
I freaking
Like-
had. I had to for class. I had to like it was choir. We had to wear like nice clothes and like slacks and a tie. They gave me the tie. And I'm like, how do I do this?
Pretty much.
I wear a tie so infrequently. Every time I do it, I have to look up how to tie it.
Yeah.
I do too. Like, YouTube.
I don't have to do that anymore
Literally,
because when I started my current job, I did wear a tie going in the office. Although ever since we started working from home, or the company as a whole started working from home for the most part, they started to get a little bit more casual, but new employees start in the office for a while. So I was in the office for about half a year. Then Omicron hit, and the rest of us new recruits were sent home with everybody else.
Right.
But I was wearing a tie for a while, and I finally memorized how to do it, and it feels freaking awesome.
In another year, you'll have forgotten again, though. So, I got another fan question. I got two
Fan
actually
questions.
from one fan. Two questions here.
Last one was from Octodoodle, right?
Last one was from Octodoodle. That's
Mhm.
right.
Thank you,
Shout out to
Octodoodle.
Octo. Thank you for the question. The second to last question comes from Nikoma Raccoon, another
Nikoma.
fan you might
Hey,
not
Nikoma.
recognize.
Yes.
Yeah.
Hello.
Top 5 favorite games. This is the definitive listing. You have to pick top 5. You have to order them top 5 from 5 down to 1. This will be on the record permanently. Go.
Okay. Oh boy, that's a big question.
I know I hate this question because I always like, I don't know, like
I
there's
know
so
I'm
many
like-
games I love. Like, oh, this is probably my top 5, and then I
Yeah.
realized that I like missed some really like games that should be in there.
So the first one that came to mind when I thought of number 1 all-time favorite game
Drum roll, please.
was Majora's Mask.
Oh, okay.
Majora's
I was
Mask.
thinking maybe Ocarina, but Majora's Mask. All right.
Oh yeah,
So
Drake is the biggest Majora's Mask fan.
I did know he was a big
So-
Majora's Mask fan.
it is. I love Ocarina of Time. Don't get me wrong. It's the first Zelda game I ever played. It will always have a special place in my heart. But there is no, save for another game that I will mention later that is in my top 5 easily. It is the only game, or it is the first game, I should say, that really like impacted me on like an emotional level, I want to say.
Mhm.
Just because of, I know question didn't ask for like reasons why, but I'm giving them. So
Okay.
It's IGL. That's how we do it.
So I just remember playing through that game, and you do all the side quests with like just helping people with the bomber's notebook and all
Yeah.
that character development that takes place.
Getting all the
And-
masks and everything.
Yes, the moment that like really stuck out to me where I was so talking about the Final Hours theme earlier. The moment I remember now, the moment that song really hit me was when you finish the quest where you get the wedding masks, Kefi and Anju.
Oh yes.
The ending of that quest, I remember sitting there watching them and hearing that song, and I was just like, oh, I was like,
Me too.
That's cool.
that was like the moment where it hit me. And then you loop the 3 days over again and you watch them go through all of it again.
Yeah.
And it's like just this repetitive loop of just like you fix everybody's problems, then they're destroyed again. Then you fix them, then they're like,
Kind of like life.
yes, exactly. But it was just it was such a cool game. That's one of the games where I wish I could go back and play that again for the first time.
Erase
I
it from your mind and play again,
Yeah.
fresh,
Uh,
for sure.
in fact, I have my original copy too.
Oh, you
it's
came
got
prepared, you
all
guys. Look at
I-
that visual aid.
I have mine in the other room, but I don't feel like grabbing it second time.
I love that game with my entire heart.
Awesome. That's a solid number one.
Number 2. I think that number 2 would have to be Ocarina of Time. Just it's Ocarina of Time. What more do I have to say?
Absolutely.
Oh wait. I changed my number 2. I need to change my number 2.
Uh-oh.
Is that going to be your
Upset.
number 3 then?
Upset.
I got to change it. Number 2, Breath of the Wild.
Fair.
Oh,
Obvious
okay.
reasons.
Supplanted. Interesting. But fair.
So then, okay, now that I'm really thinking about it, you're going to be surprised. Okay. Number 4,
Yeah.
Halo Reach.
Oh.
Solid
Halo
pick.
Reach.
Okay.
I loved that game. So like I went into that game knowing the story of Reach, knowing what happens. I know that you're set up, spoiler alert, I know that you're set up to fail. But like, while I was playing the game, I was just like, oh man, we're doing so good. We're doing so good. Yeah, we got him. We got him really good. And then they just come in and just like blow, like remind you that you are just nothing. You're losing. This is a losing battle.
Yeah.
And it was just that like continuous of like build up of hope and then just like nothing and then build up of hope. And
That's kind
then,
of how Call of Duty campaigns are. At least with my experience, I've only played through a couple of them.
It's been a long
I've
time.
never
I think
really
the last Call of
played-
Duty campaign I played through was Modern Warfare, the original Modern
Me
Warfare.
too.
I don't think I've ever played through a Call of Duty campaign. I played zombies, I played multiplayer, but never through a campaign.
Oh, they're good.
Are they?
Oh yeah,
Okay.
criminally
Alright.
underrated.
All right.
I don't know if they're
Check it out.
underrated. I think people like them a lot, but
They
although
are,
I've
but
heard
people
in
think
later
people
years,
think of
maybe.
Call of Duty so much on the multiplayer side and
That's true.
nowhere
That's true.
near
The single
as
player
much as
stuff often
campaign.
gets sort
Halo's
of-
kind of that way too, but not as
Yeah,
not
you're
as
not wrong.
much of a polar difference between the two as
Mhm.
Call of Duty has
Yeah,
it.
that's true. That's true.
Yeah. But I just remember that was another game that like emotionally hit
For
me
sure.
because it was like by the end you just like grew to love all these characters and to watch them one by one just disappear.
Yeah.
And like yeah, that was just such a cool game. Another game I wish I could go back and play. Like my whole top 5, I wish I could go back and play them again.
Oh,
Safe to say.
same.
Absolutely.
And then number 5, Ocarina of Time.
Yeah.
Easy.
Wait, what happened to number 3? I feel like we missed something in there.
Number 3 was
3 was
Yeah.
Majora's Mask,
Yeah, Majora's
Breath
Mask,
of the Wild.
Breath of the Wild,
Halo Reach.
Halo Reach.
Yeah. I feel like we're one game
We
short.
I
skipped-
feel like I missed
Somewhere
one.
in here.
Yeah, no, I missed one.
I
Okay.
thought you bumped Ocarina to number 3 because Breath of the Wild came in
No.
at number 2. And
Yeah.
then we did 4. So
Halo-
we
okay,
either need
so-
a 5 or a 3.
Okay,
If
so
Ocarina's a 5, then we need a 3.
yeah. So
Anybody
so
watching? Are your brains scrambled yet?
I'm keeping track.
were your brain scrambled from the beginning of this episode? Like, oh, another very polarizing game, Star Fox Adventures.
I've only played like 5 minutes of it, and then it crashed because I was playing on a shitty emulator.
I've never
Such a
played Star
good
Fox
game.
Adventures.
All right, yeah,
Dude,
I want
my
to play it on the.
GameCube copy.
I need to get the actual GameCube copy. Maybe I can actually enjoy it because I heard that it actually is good despite everybody shitting on it all the time.
Yeah. Everybody hated it because it just strayed away from like the R-Wing centric
Yeah,
gameplay.
that's
So, like-
that's the same concept with people in LaCroix expecting soda.
Yeah.
all
Now
okay.
you understand.
All
Going
right.
into it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I hold up a Waterloo, but it's same difference.
It's the same thing. Yeah, I feel like that game does not get enough credit. I loved the characters, I loved the story, I loved the gameplay. I just thought it was I'm okay. Never mind. I'm not going to say that because spoilers. But like, I loved that game. I just thought it was so much fun.
That's legit. That's awesome.
Yeah. So that'd be probably my number 5 if I had to rank a top 5.
Solid top 5.
Oh yeah.
I like it.
What is your
I like it.
top 5, Nick?
Yes.
Oh, I just told you I hate this question.
If I have to answer it, we all have to
man.
answer it.
And I asked
okay.
it knowing this.
I think number 1 is probably The Elder Scrolls 3 Morrowind.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Because that game is just iconic in so many ways. And at the time of recording, its 20th anniversary is coming up in 2 days.
Really?
It's 20.
Wow.
Yeah, I still remember going and picking it up off the rack at the store because this is when you bought games in boxes.
Yeah.
And I remember just being so blown away by, believe it or not, it was the water graphics
Mhm.
on the screenshots.
I remember you talking about that when
oh my god,
you
the
came on the
water's
show.
reflective. Holy shit! And so
Yeah.
that blew me away. But I had also read a review in PC Gamer that said it was really good. So, and I had no idea what I was getting into with that game, but it just expanded my mind in terms of like what a game can be. You
Mhm.
know,
Yeah.
like I had never imagined anything like that before that.
Wow.
Oh god, I don't know. Probably Pokemon Gold and Silver, like 2nd gen Pokemon's got to be in there somewhere. I don't know if
Oh,
it'd be at
yes.
number 2, but maybe.
Those ones are easily in my top 10.
They're just
Good.
That gen just took what was so amazing about Gen 1 and just dialed it up to 11. You know,
Dude, a freaking
And-
quick aside. I went on I went on eBay. So my favorite Pokemon is Pseudo-Wudo.
of course.
And I went on eBay and I found as many Pseudo-Wudo cards as I can.
Amazing.
And I've got more
Beautiful.
coming. So.
Beautiful. You'll have the world's largest Pseudo-Wudo collection.
Yes. I'm currently working on building up a Pseudo-Wudo army in Pokemon Go.
Beautiful. Amazing. Oh god, what else is in my top 10 or top 5? I feel like putting Skyrim and Morrowind in the top 5 is a little ridiculous, but Skyrim is a really special game to me because not only is it just like a game that I love spending time in, like I've said this before, but like going back to Skyrim is like, it's not like going to a game, it's like going to a place for me. You know, it like feels like going home in some ways. Like it's this place that I have such connection with.
That's how I feel with like Ocarina of Time and George Mask. I totally get it.
Yeah.
And just so many just emotional connections with that game.
Yeah.
And then also it became such a tentpole like feature of my channel and this community, you know. And so that for me makes it really, really special because it has that context.
Yeah, I remember back in the day when like you would stream basically only Skyrim, and it was
That's
really
why I
fun.
started off streaming, and for a long time that is all I streamed. Yeah,
And I had
sure.
like never really seen the game until then, like really in depth that way.
Yeah,
And so I was just like, wow, this is cool.
it's a very special game. I know people shit on it because they're like, oh, they dumbed it down from like Morrowind and Oblivion, and like yeah, in some ways, but like that world is so rich, and also the modding community just expands the possibilities of that game just infinitely, basically. So
Dude, modding communities make any game like way
yeah,
and it can really
God, I really love Thief. You guys know I play Thief on my channel, which is like kind of retro old school, but that series just it hits different than games do these days. And I can't quite describe it, but something about the atmosphere of those games just it takes me back, you know. Maybe it's a nostalgia thing, I don't know, but it feels really good. And then I really love Diablo 2. That's one of my all-time favorite games. And again, it's a lot of those games that are like enduring for me. The gameplay is important, but like it's really about the atmosphere and the vibe and just the feel of it, you know, and associating it with certain times in my life and that kind of stuff as well. There's probably other games that maybe should be in that top 5, but those are definitely 5 that are up there.
Speaking of the like bringing you back to like that time in your life, like when those games are coming out, I think I sent Keith like the song from the menu of Star Fox 64.
Yes.
Just like I
made me
was
so
listening to that
happy
the other day. Oh my god! For whatever reason, that song, ever since I was a kid, like a little kid, first playing that game, that song has always like made me sad for some reason. So like even now, it's like kind of like the nostalgia makes it a little bit worse. So,
it's like extra poignant.
That's very interesting because
like,
when I hear
it.
it always makes me happy.
Really
hype you up.
Like
I don't know why. It because I just feel so zen when I hear it.
Yeah.
Even when I'm about to play Star Fox, which in nature is really, really intense, it's that song is the calm before the storm of gaming soundtrack.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
I think it's just like the like I don't know if it's like the second part of the song where it's like that whole
Yeah.
part, that part, for whatever reason, just like the chords that they use and stuff is just like
Interesting.
so like, yeah, but I love it.
Was it always that way for you, or is it the nostalgia aspect that kind of makes it sad in retrospect?
This nostalgia definitely doesn't help, but like ever since I was a kid, I've always gotten like a kind of like sad, lonely feel
Right.
Mm.
from that song. I mean, I've been that way since I was little, realizing it. Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Keith,
Anyway.
this is where we asked you your top 5.
Yeah.
Finish it off.
I
Round
knew
up
that
the
was
trio
coming.
here.
Yeah.
gotta have it.
So among the top 5, my top 3 I usually consider to be like a 3-way tie, but for the sake of this conversation, I will order them. Super Mario World is my number 1. It always holds a huge place in my heart because even though the first game I played was Pong, the first game I played that actually got me into gaming and be serious about it was Super Mario World. I was in first grade. A friend invited me over to play it, and he beat every level that he entered, and I died in every level that I entered. I was pretty competitive at the time. I guess I still am to a degree now, but especially as a kid. So that's what made me beg my parents to get me a Super Nintendo and Super Mario World.
Good.
Exactly. And I did get good. And now if you see me play it today, I'm a freaking pro. Never once ever have I died in Wendy's Castle live. Ever.
You gotta go find that kid.
It's
grade 1. Be like, look at this. Look
Yeah.
at me now.
Yeah.
Seriously, go find him and just like shove it in
Yeah.
his face.
Ble-
Sit down, motherfucker.
bleeping the name for privacy reasons because his name is unique, but thank you so much. You literally changed my life when we played Super Mario World together. Like, seriously.
Never knew. He could have not had any idea.
By the
Yeah.
way, bro, 1v1 me.
1v1
Super
me.
Mario
Dude,
World.
Actually,
Let's go.
later that same year, I already surpassed him because he didn't beat the game yet, and I surpassed him later that same year.
Ultimate revenge.
Yeah, I was obsessed. Number 2, GoldenEye.
Yes.
Absolutely. In fact, GoldenEye made me a big James Bond fan. I've seen all the movies, played most of the games, but I always go back to GoldenEye when it comes to games. It's just really special. It's a really solid game. Yes, the graphics look really dated today, but it plays so well. Even though the mechanics are kind of awkward, like if the enemies are shooting at you when you're on a staircase, the guardrails somehow phantom block all the bullets. When I figured that out, I became a god at GoldenEye.
That's great.
But yeah, number 3, Link to the Past.
Yes.
Ocarina of Time was also the first game that I played, but Link to the Past, its soundtrack is phenomenal. Its dungeons are very smart. Its puzzles are really smart.
It's just so well designed.
It's so well designed.
It all fits together so well.
Yeah,
you know?
the thing here, the reason why I Link to the Past more is a couple reasons, and Ego Raptor fans, Game Grumps fans might know what I'm talking about because Ego Raptor put out a whole Sequelitis episode about this. Ocarina of Time has so much waiting. Like when you're opening a chest and it takes forever, or you talk to people, it takes forever. Link to the Past has a lot less waiting, but also every single dungeon in Ocarina, you get an item that's going to be what you use against the boss.
Yeah.
Which I agree is smart, but it also makes the game a little bit predictable. Link to the Past is not like that at all. Some bosses you will fight using the weapon that you got in the same dungeon, but sometimes you get it from another dungeon or even not even a dungeon.
Yep.
So you got to be ready for anything. Let's see. Number 4 is actually recently made my top list because it recently came out, Halo Infinite.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
cool.
I played through when I played through the campaign, I was so immersed by it in a way that I haven't felt in so long. Like I had that genuine kid-like feeling playing that
That's awesome.
game
That's so uncommon these
Yeah.
days. That's so
Yeah.
It's
it's
so
like
uncommon these days, and it's the
Yeah.
first time I felt that since I was actually a kid. From
Dude.
Halo Infinite. So Halo Infinite made it to my top. The multiplayer it doesn't count in my book because, well, when it came out, it lacked a lot of key features. It didn't have Team Slayer when it first came out, which why 343?
Why would you release a Halo game without that?
Yeah,
I
it's
think
that
even though that was delayed by a year, it still came in really hot. I think like there's a lot of stuff that they're now backpedaling on with their timeline. Right?
exactly.
Yeah.
Take Nintendo's advice. 343. Breath of the Wild was in production before the Wii U even came out.
Yeah.
And they delayed it for nearly a decade, and it came out a solid game. Yes, the graphics look kind of dated, but that's only because Nintendo's hardware has been dated since the Wii. But Nintendo, for the most part, makes up for that by cooking out solid games because they don't rush their games most of the time.
Well, and I just learned that Star Fox Adventures was originally intended for the N64.
Yeah.
Interesting.
If Wikipedia is correct, it was intended for the N64.
Yeah. Animal Crossing 2 was originally on N64 in Japan, but came to GameCube in North America. Because that's why the original Animal Crossing graphically looks like an N64 game, because it was an N64 game.
Literally was an N64
and then it was
and they
ported
just
over
ported
GameCube.
Nintendo really does that cross-gen thing, right?
Yeah,
Really,
absolutely.
It's common.
And 5, Perfect Dark.
Perfect Dark.
I love me some Perfect Dark. It's
that
so
era of rare.
yeah, it's so underrated. Like GoldenEye fans rarely talk about it, but it's the spiritual sequel to GoldenEye. Like completely different original story, but its playstyle is basically GoldenEye on steroids. It has a similar feel, but there's more moves you can do. It actually has reload animations, whereas GoldenEye, you put the gun down, pull it back up, and it's instant for all the weapons, which is kind of ridiculous. It does make the game easier because all reloads are quick. Not the case with Perfect Dark. You actually have to strategize. But also Perfect Dark in general is a lot more difficult. That is my go-to rage game. If I play it on Perfect Agent, it does get my blood boil when I struggle through certain levels. There's this one bonus level that I still haven't beat on Perfect Agent, which is the most difficult of the 3 difficulties. The level is called War, all caps with an exclamation point. It takes place right after the last level of the main missions. Spoiler alert: Joanna defeats the Scatter Leader, and then the Mayans, who are these aliens that look like stereotypical meme type aliens.
aliens.
Yeah, they you play as one of them along with some of your comrades and swarm in to take out the clones of the Scatter Leader, and it is ridiculously hard because you're given such weak weapons, and their weapons will kill you in a few hits. It's so frustrating.
Brutal.
Yeah. But yeah, it's still one of my favorite games because I do love a challenge, and it does have that GoldenEye feel.
For sure. Yeah, it's of that era for sure. And that design.
So I'd like to real quick amend my top 5. Star Fox Adventures is definitely in my top 10.
Okay.
I gotta include this game in my top 5. The Legend of Zelda: The Wind Waker.
Oh yes,
gotta include it
for sure.
Yeah,
I have to amend mine too. But my top 5 stays, but an honorable mention: Donkey Kong Country. Yes, that holds a special place in my heart. I got that for my 8th birthday. When I was unwrapping my birthday presents, my mom pointed to it and said, "That's last," and I instantly knew it was Donkey Kong Country.
That's so cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
What were you gonna say, Nick?
I was just gonna say, why haven't they put out Wind Waker HD on Switch yet?
I know.
That seems like it would just print money. Like it's just an obvious
It would
choice.
print money because Nintendo has a thing for that. When Skyward Sword HD came out on Switch, I'm like, Yeah, I like that Skyward Sword HD came to Switch, but charging full $60 for it? Come
I mean,
on.
that's just Nintendo. But
I think that it's wrong. Like I feel like your downloaded games should be cheaper than buying physical copies.
I fully
I
agree.
think that
because
just
the reason-
sailed a long time
Mhm.
ago.
like because like that high price is for the production, it's for the disc, it's for the physical,
Exactly.
it's for
Some
it's
of it
for
is.
distribution.
That said, I feel like these games, like these days, many games anyway, are bigger and more complex and just more insane than they've ever been. And the development costs for games are just going up and up and up. And I'm
That's
pretty
true.
sure I've seen that the price of games, despite the fact that it seems so expensive for like a full price game now, I think it hasn't even tracked with inflation since like, the 90s.
That's
You're
Or-
absolutely right.
True,
Games
yeah.
games that sold in the early 90s when adjusted into inflation go in the hundreds now easily.
And yeah, I mean it sucks because especially up here in Canada, I'm paying like $90 basically after tax for like a brand new AAA game, right?
Wow.
It's harsh, but but also as someone who games primarily on PC these days, it's like there is just so many cheap ass games that are like really good, like so. And,
like
I don't know.
Steam is chocked full of them.
Well, that's
like,
exactly it. You can get games for just dollars, or like, and you get Game Pass these days, which is like unbelievable. Like,
That's why I got a Series S.
Yeah,
because I wanted that so bad. Yeah. I mean, I could get it on PC, but there were some Xbox exclusives that I wanted to.
Yeah, there's a few. I have Game Pass for PC, but okay, we should probably try and wrap things up.
Yeah.
Feature length.
We've been recording for over 2 hours, so yeah, let's wrap this up.
So the last, sorry, it's one more fan question here, and then actually I have a couple fan questions of my own.
Oh,
I'll make them quick.
Okay, cool.
Because I'm a fan. The second question from Nakoma Raccoon this is an important one, and I must say this is from Nakoma. This is not from me. All right.
Okay.
The question is, who is your favorite streamer, and why is it the ASMRnerd?
Okay. First, who is that?
That's from Nakoma. Oh, wait, sorry, no, who is that?
Never mind.
You.
Just kidding. The second question: who's my favorite streamer and why is it Nick? Well, I mean, first of all, have you looked at him? Like, let's be real, dude's fine.
Yeah,
fine. Okay.
The alluring hair flip. There it is.
The alluring hair flip. There.
That's
yeah,
it.
exactly.
We didn't get the kissy lips though.
I know the duck. There we
go. Yeah, that's part of it, man.
Part of it.
Beautiful.
And that didn't cost you any potato points.
Yeah.
I know.
That one's on the house.
For those who don't know, that's his channel points on Twitch.
And it's on YouTube, so you can go back and replay it however many times that you want. So there you go.
Yeah,
Nick's
but
not streaming, and you need
it's
a hair
still
flip.
more valuable when you get it live, bro.
That's
it is
right.
still
It's
more
for
valuable
you when you get it live. So
that's true. That's true.
Personally.
Yeah. Why do I love Nick? Because he's wonderful. Like your streams are really, really fun. I enjoy hanging out with you in your streams. The community is freaking amazing. I feel like I'm just no. So like, I don't really have like, I have people who I really enjoy watching. I have people who I really like. The problem is that all of the people, or most of the people that I watch actively on Twitch, I have since become friends with.
Yeah.
So to me, it feels a little weird saying like,
you can't pick
Nick is
favorites.
my favorite.
And it's the same for me. Like pretty much everyone I watch on Twitch are people that I also consider good friends. So
yeah,
it's like,
exactly.
Me too. But
the
the thing,
rad people. That's why I
exactly.
love
The thing is, I don't find it so weird because of that. Because I enjoy watching and hanging out with my friends a lot more than I enjoy watching like some random famous person. Like, no disrespect to big creators whatsoever.
Oh, yeah, no.
I still watch them and enjoy them, but the people that I personally know, I enjoy more because I can relate to them more.
Yeah, it's
but
a totally different.
Maybe
vibe,
I'll learn to
sure,
relate to those other creators too. I mean, I kind of have to. I run a podcast interviewing ASMRtists, and I do know a crap ton of people in the community, which really helps. But I do have a big four. I do have a big four on among Twitch partners: Nick, Maya ASMR, James Bond 235, and Miss Caitlin.
All top quality people.
Yeah.
All
Amazing.
yes.
Solid.
I mean, like,
very, very solid.
But like the other three are
No,
they're
you're
amazing
among one
individuals.
of them. You're a big reason why I've become an ASMRist in the first place. You know that, man.
Oh, that same here. Like,
And,
Nick is a huge reason why I even started streaming in the first place.
Yeah.
Because like I would hang out in your chat and just like see how much fun you were having, see how much fun everybody else was having. I love the way that you connected with everybody, and it felt like we were actually getting to know you and like not just like watching a streamer, you know. And so I was just like, oh shit, that's really cool. Like I want to do that. And so and you're a huge reason why I started on Twitch, let alone becoming an ASMRtist. Like,
well, thank you, man.
So
and like the same goes for like right back at both of you guys. Like my favorite streamers, like I said, are like the ones where it's just like it's the good vibes, you know, like you're just there, you're just hanging out, you're just vibing with people that you like, and both of you guys have that in spades. It's awesome. So
thanks,
I
man.
love hanging out on your streams.
Yeah, like and then like on top of that, like if I had never found your streams, I maybe would have never met Keith. I maybe never would have met Jenia. If I hadn't started streaming, I would have never met Tyler. I would have never met Izzy. I would have never met like a ton of people that I now consider to be really good friends.
Exactly.
So it's like, you
It's
know,
funny. It's funny how it works. Sometimes I
Yeah.
think about that, you know, I'm like all the people that, you know, inadvertently, not through any like direct action of my own, but like people who've connected through the community. It's like, it's really cool to think about, you know?
and you're almost kind of like a middleman, kind of like a
now Kith.
now Kith.
with a th now Kith.
Yes,
Kith.
now Kith.
That's got to be with the TH.
You just got to remove the e in my name and you get that.
Keith.
Kith.
Amazing.
It all
I never
fits.
thought about that. That's awesome. Nicoma, thank you for those questions. Those are clearly big topics of discussion. And,
Absolutely.
shout out to Nicoma
Thank
as
you
well,
all
another
for
awesome
submitting your questions.
member of our
Yeah.
community. Going back to as an ASMR creator, what is something that you are really proud of that you do or have done as a creator or in your community?
That's a good question.
That is
I
a
like
good
that.
question.
So you're talking about like specifically like to ASMR content?
Well, you know, I was tying it to that, but it doesn't have to be.
Okay.
I'd rather do
Well,
something else.
so since this is basically just like kind of mainly ASMR, one of the things I've done that I'm the proudest of has to be my Mount Rainier hike video.
Nice. Yeah, that one's
Yes.
rad.
That I am extremely proud of that video. Just like the way it turned out. I basically like all of the driving shots are I had a car with a moonroof at the time.
Yeah.
So literally the camcorder that I'm doing this on, I held it in my hand, stuck it out the moonroof.
That's awesome.
And recorded.
Didn't realize.
Yeah, I recorded
That's so
all those
good.
driving shots just like this. And I'm like, do I have a good enough amount of time? Yeah, we're good. Okay.
That's so good.
But it was like, I'm just really proud of the way that turned out. And as far as like streaming, honestly, I'm just really proud of the fact that what's the word for it when you don't do it sparingly, with as sparingly as I stream, or at least have been, every single time I still have people who show up and still come in. And it's like, whether it's just like 2 or 3 people, these same people still show up and still hang out. And
Totally.
I'm proud of the fact that I've built a little community, no matter how small.
Absolutely.
And
For sure.
it's always like, and it's something that I think about, like if I'm ever getting down on myself, especially about streaming, I think about the fact that like, even if it is just 2 or 3 people, you get those same 2 or 3 people every single time.
Yeah.
So like, if I'm sitting there thinking like, oh man, my content sucks, I'm not as, start comparing myself to other people and other streamers and their content and all of that stuff, and I start getting down on myself, I'm just like, dude, I just think about those people, and I'm just like, oh, okay, well, I must be doing something right. Like
For sure.
people do like
For
me regardless of what I think of myself.
100%. yeah, building a community and having that connection with those people is absolutely one of the most rewarding aspects of being a creator, a streamer in particular. I completely agree. Yeah, it's really special. And my final question. What is your biggest dream as a content creator, whether that's ASMR or music or whatever? What do you aspire to?
That's a big one.
That's a very big question.
Yeah, just trying to
I like it though.
Some meaty ones.
Yeah, no, that's a good one. I mean, of course, everybody would love to be able to like do it full time, right? Like everybody would love to be able to, or at the very least, be able to do it enough to where you're making like a good income off of it. Like that is one thing that of course is going to be in the back of your mind. But like one of my things would be like building a community, which I've really started doing. I think one of the things would be to grow that community.
For sure.
To get that community to be a little bit bigger. And that of course comes down to me streaming regularly, which, you know, mental health and all that crap.
I feel
yeah.
But of course, grow my community. And as far as like, I want to improve the quality of my ASMR, especially. But I think my main like future goals pertain more to music. So make more of it, get it out there, get it, you know, get people hearing it, and hopefully people like it. And you know, I don't by any means want to be like famous. That is not really something that I want, but like just to build up a little following, I guess would be cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Rad.
And just to be able to do, I think the biggest thing would be just to be able to devote myself fully to content creation, whether that's streaming, whether that's videos, whether that's music, just be able to fully devote my life to a creative.
I feel that. That's the dream, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the dream. I feel you there. Absolutely. And I'm sure you will get there. You know, keeping at it for sure. Awesome. Cool. All right. Well, those are my fan questions. So
cool.
Thank you. Thanks for those questions, Nick.
Those are good questions.
So yeah, as we begin to wrap up, where could we find you online?
You can of course find me on Twitch, Drakonis ASMRtist. I am on Twitter at Drakonis ASMR. On Instagram is Drakonis ASMR. I'm significantly less frequent on Instagram than I am on Twitter.
Oh, me too.
I post so much random bullshit to Twitter. It's like
that's how it goes.
Yep, it is. I of course have my 2 YouTube channels that I haven't uploaded to in years. I have Drakonis ASMRtist on YouTube. The Mighty Drakonis is my non-ASMR channel. I want to eventually get back to making videos once I have like kind of the time to carve out to it. But
in the meantime, I highly recommend checking out what he does have up there because they are awesome.
Yeah, there's some great stuff on there. And make sure you give him that follow on Twitch. He's got some awesome streams. It's always good vibes.
Absolutely.
I appreciate that, guys. You're too kind.
One of my favorite places on Twitch.
Same.
I appreciate you guys. You guys are 2 of my favorite places on Twitch too.
Oh, look at that. Appreciate both you guys.
Drake, thank you so much for coming on the show. And Nick, thank you so much for coming back on the show.
Hey, always my pleasure.
Yeah. It's been an absolute blast. This is the beardiest of beardy episodes on IGL history, without a doubt.
Well, I appreciate you having me, man. This is really fun.
Absolutely. We'll have to do this again sometime. And until then, stay chill, take care of yourselves, and until next time, so long.